Good morning to one and all. In this video lecture series of casting process, today we are going to discuss about the types of pattern process. In this previous lecture series, we have discussed about what is casting and what are all the various types of casting, and then we have discussed about what are all the components in the casting and what are the steps which we need to follow while doing the casting, and also we have discussed about the types of pattern. In this video, we will discuss about types of pattern allowances. What is allowances? Patent allowances are essential considerations in the field of manufacturing and patent making. These allowances refer to the intentional deviations made in the dimensions of the patent from the final desired dimensions of the finished product. It means deviations made in the dimensions of the patent. The purpose of patent allowances is to account for various factors that affect the final product size, shape, and surface finish during the casting or molding process. By incorporating patent allowances, manufacturers can ensure that the resulting product meets the specifications and tolerances. There are about majorly 5 different types of patent allowances. Some of them are shrinkage allowances or contraction allowance, machining allowance or finishing allowance, shake or wrapping allowance, draft allowance or taper allowance, and then distortion allowance. We will discuss it one by one. First one is the shrinkage allowance, or the other name of shrinkage allowance is the contraction allowance. Shrinkage allowance is the critical aspect of manufacturing processes that involves compensating for the reduction in size that occurs when materials cool and solidify after the casting process. By intentionally increasing the dimensions of the patent, shrinkage allowances ensures that the final product attains the desired shape and size, accounting for the material's characteristic shrinkage during the cooling and solidification stages. There are about different types of materials. From the figure, it is clearly indicated that the outer image is the dimension of the patent. The inner blue color line is the final shrinkage of the casting part after final dimensions. We need to produce the patent to some extent, plus or minus plus 50, or for example plus 10 or 10 mm dimensions, in order to fit the particular type of patent in the correct dimensions. During cooling and solidification process, the material dimensions get reduced. This is known as shrinkage allowance or contraction allowance. Next one is the machining allowance or finishable allowance. Machining allowance is a crucial aspect of manufacturing that involves adding extra material to a patent or workpiece to account for the material that will be removed during subsequent machining process. For better finishing of the materials, some of the material's outer surface can be removed. For that, the extra material is added to the particular type of during casting process. During the finishing process, the material is removed and the final exact dimensions can be attained. This allowance ensures that the final product meets the required dimensional accuracy and surface finish, providing sufficient material for machining processes like milling, turning, or grinding, etc. Next one is the draft allowance. Draft allowance refers to the intentional taper of angle added to vertical surfaces of the patent in manufacturing and patent making. This allowance is crucial for facilitating the easy and smooth removal of the patent, as it is shown in this image, after the molding or casting process. By incorporating the draft allowances, manufacturers ensure that the patent can be demolded without causing damage to the mold or compromising the integrity of the final product. In simple, draft allowances or taper allowances made in the casting process in order to safety removal of the patent without damaging the mold sand. Next one is the wrapping or shake allowances. When the patent is to be removed from a tightly packed or rammed sand mold, a slight shaking or ramming is required. This may result in a slight increase in the dimensions of the cavity. This results in a increase in the final dimensions of the casting. And to prevent this change in dimension, the pattern is made smaller than the actual casting dimension. This is shaking or ramping allowances in this pattern. This type of pattern allowances does not have specific dimension standards, but it depends upon the manufacturing industry and the finishing they acquire. Last but not least is the distortion allowance. During cooling of the mold, stresses developed in the solid metal may induce distortions in the casting. This is more evident when the mold is thinner in width as compared to its length. This can be eliminated by initially distorting the pattern in the opposite directions. This type of allowances can be seen if we can produce the material U-shaped material or V-shaped or T or L-shaped material. It will tend to contract at the closed end, causing the vertical legs for look slightly inclines. Thank you.